I welcome our special guest, Shri Kiran Zaveri sir, IAS Assistant Commissioner of State Tax, Shri Amish Kandarji, Shri Rashmin Wajaji, Shri Neeraj Hate Singh sir, CMD and founder of Signet Private Limited, and our supporting organization from ICAI, Mr. Bishan Shah sir. So today the session will focus on recent changes in GST and way forward. We will also seek guidance and suggestions from our special guest. Without wasting much time, I request Amish sir to take the session further. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Tusarbhai and the ASSOCHAM for organizing this enlightening session. I have been knowing Kiran Bhai since long, maybe more than 8 to 10 years now. So Kiran Bhai, no need for introduction, but still he has worked extensively in VAT department in his earlier tenure. He has also worked as collector of various districts of Gujarat, and since now more than 2 years, he has been at policy decision level at state GST, government of Gujarat. So, very good human being, and I welcome you all along with my co-panelist, Mr. Rasmin Waja, Mr. Neeraj Hati Singh, who is also good friend of mine, Mr. Bishan Shah, again my fellow professional from CA Institute, and I. What I would set the ball rolling by telling that GST is now reaching around 1,40,000, 1,60,000 at times the collection, and maybe government will collect around 2 lakhs in 1 year or so. So we all are eager to hear the policy changes that are going to come or that are under discussion, as well as certain issues, Javeri sir, from industry, like closure of inverted duty structure, like on GST rate increase in so many products, and certain issues are there. Even in today's newspaper also it is being displayed that there are certain problems in registration and all that. Being at top of the machinery, we would seek your guidance. Also, we would seek that how certain whatever kind of internal processes, either from department or from the trade and industry, can be ironed out, so that ease of doing business, the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi sahab, is being carried out, and more industry and trade is getting benefited. So you can also enlighten us, you can guide us, as well as you can note down certain kind of whatever problems are from our side, and in turn you can instruct to your officers if they can if these kind of minor problems or procedures or other kind of policy decisions which have to be taken to Delhi, and whatever can be done at local level. So sir, we are eager to hear you, Javeri sir. And after Javeri sir, there is at around 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes speech by Mr. Bishan Shah, who is president of CA Institute or chairman of CA Institute of Ahmedabad branch, who is having 14,000 chartered accountants in Ahmedabad. Very good human being, active, and he is chairman as of now. For 1 year, he is leading the entire CA fraternity in Ahmedabad. And after him, Bishan Bhai, Neeraj Hati Singh. Again, I think he has lost the connection, perhaps. I don't think, but Neeraj Hati Singh will take over, and he will enlighten or he will guide us, because he is one of the very prominent GSP and continuously in touch with GST network and other kind of technological advancements or the updates which are going to happen in next couple of years. He will also enlighten us by that. And after that, Mr. Rasmin Waja, who is a leading chartered accountant and practicing in service tax and GST since more than 15 18 years. He will take over for 47th GST Council decisions. So many changes have come, and after, if time permits, then we will touch upon real estate sector. Our session, I think, will be from 11 to 1. And now I, with this brief background about the entire session, about the entire today's whatever structure we have made, I would like to invite Sri Kiran Bhai Javeri sir and to guide us and how we can take it forward.
Mr. Neeraj from ASSOCHAM, Amish Bhai, Mishan Bhai, CMD from Signet, Mr. Aswin Waja, and all fellow dignitaries. Uh, See, our Chief Commissioner, Mr. Milind Torone, sir, was invited for this session, and because of some emergency meeting, he could not remain present. So I am here. At this juncture, I will start the session, but we have some good interaction afterwards also. I have, as Amish Bhai Khandar has told, that I have worked in the department. I have started my career from this department. And when I joined last year in June, I have started to make procedure easy for all the taxpayers by the departmental authority. That was our first motto. Second, we would like to come out from the value-added tax regime. So we have almost finished all the assessment pertaining to the VAT regime except non-subsumed goods. And on the day when I taken the charge, I have instructed all the senior officers of the department that after 1 year we are going out from the compensation model. So in last 1 year we have tried to eliminate any defaulters who are in the return or at the recovery juncture or whatever defaulter otherwise. If we cannot control the defaulter in the last year of the compensation, we should suffer heavily from the 1st July 2022. Now, after 5 years, and any child can get the milk up to 5 years, that is good. Now, we have to run our own because everyone is knowing that every government in the country is in the developing mode, and indirect taxation is a main revenue of the state government. Our department is giving at least 83% of the budget amount from this state tax department. That includes state GST, IGST, our part in the IGST, non-subsumed goods VAT, and electricity duty. So we are getting the chunk from the central government up to 30th June 2022. Now it has been stopped. And it was discussed in the GST Council how to get that money. So there are n number of changes from the 18th of July 2022, somewhere in the tax rate, and rightly pointed out by Amish Bhai that it will change of inverted duty tax structure. Except this textile, now almost all the items would be barred from the inverted tax duty structure. So there will be number of problems for the commodity, those who are getting the refund on that raw material, and that is the part of their cost. So it may become somewhat costlier in the market. That may affect to the members of the ASSOCHAM. With this remark, I can say that any discussion afterward, I am here to reply. I am here up to 1. So my role will be, if you have any queries with this, so whatever reply I can give, I will try my level best to reply, and whatever is your problem, I will convey it to my Chief Commissioner or Secretary Finance or Minister of Finance. and we can send it to our GST council. And if any problem in the system, we can convey our problem to the GSTN. I have worked with the GSTN also from 2012 to 2016. So conveniently, we can solve our problem through GSTN also. So I request that you start the session, and whatever the queries from the industry, we are here to solve. And me and my team will always support to all the dealers, and we are not here to close the industry or to harass or to make any problem to the industry, but we are here always here to help all the taxpayers and all the easy procedures for all the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javeri sir. It is so nice of you that you will remain present till the entire session. And if you are staying back, then I would request all the members to write in the chat box whatever questions you have. And last 10 minutes we will have question and answer, so that whatever questions can be replied, Javeri sir will address us, as well as whatever has to be noted down, as he has rightly said, to take it forward to the government of Gujarat and Ministry of Finance or GSTN. So I would request all to, whatever kind of questions or day-to-day procedures or policy level. There are three kind of questions will be there. One will be at local level, procedure level. Second will be at legal level, which will be addressed to the GST Council. And third will be the technical issues for GST network. Even some of the problems will be even addressed by Neeraj Bhai also. So with this background, I would request Sri Bishan Bhai Shah, leading chartered accountant of Ahmedabad and chairman of Ahmedabad branch C Institute, to address us and to express his views about GST and the overall fraternity and expectation of trade and industry. Bishan Bhai, please.
Thank you, Amish Bhai. માતૃભૂમિનું સન્માન માતૃ સંસ્થા દ્વારા માતૃભાષાના હેતથી આજે શ્રાવણ વદ 14 વિક્રમ સંવત 2078. We are thankful that you have given us an opportunity to join and support this event. Amish Bhai, we at Ahmedabad branch of WRC of ICI thankful to ASSOCHAM for taking this initiative of having a update on recent changes, but on top of that, to invite none other than our IAS Kiran Javeri sir, who is always ready to listen us, to implement whatever we want and whatever our need of the business that has been percolated through him to his higher authorities, to GSTN, and I guess to the government and GSTN, GST Council also. As we all are aware that vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is to have India at 5 trillion USD economy. Just imagine the figures which Amish Bhai said, that GST collections are increasing 1 lakh rupees every 1 lakh rupees every, I can say, month, and what are the targets. But if you see this economical vision, then definitely these revenues are going to increase, day by day and through the period. As I can see on my screen, the Bharat at 100 years, and just see what is going to be in next 25 years. Even investment is going to be pumping, business is going to be generated, and of course the technology will play a pivotal role. As otherwise we used to come there and sit and listen to everyone physically, today we are in our office and discussing on various recent amendments in GST and what are the issues in the GST. So technology will definitely take the lead, and as Signet has joined, I am sure that Neeraj Bhai will help all the fraternity, taxpayers, and ecosystem how we can, prosper with the use of technology, comply with the government rules, and take India forward. Our theme of Ahmedabad branch this year is team. Together, everyone achieves more, and that's why we are here to join with ASSOCHAM. And we strongly believe that collaborative arrangements will definitely take India at higher heights. And in team, T stands for technology and timeliness. So if we will adopt the technology, I am pretty sure that we will win the world. Moreover, in artificial intelligence, India is ranking at sixth from in all over the world. So it's better we adopt the technology, and with text technology, we will ensure that more revenue will be there. As Javeri sir said, that compensation to the states will be no more. Then definitely with the use of technology, you can tap more revenue, and a genuine taxpayer will not suffer. That is what I can say and what we can perceive in the future. With these words, I am again thankful to ASSOCHAM and giving us an opportunity to also enable our members to know much more on this knowledge dissemination seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bisan Bhai, for your opening remarks. And as you rightly said, that artificial intelligence, machine learning, the are going to be, though we are bit aged to adapt that, but the young generation is privileged to be part of that, and we are privileged to at least witness the like green revolution, like industrial revolution, the technological revolution, and that we have been seeing through GST network also, that 2A, 2B, and so many e-invoicing, e-way bill. Then now even this FASTag has come, and the toll tax mapping. So many technological advancements have been doing. I would request all the trade and industry as well as professional brothers and sisters that we will have to adapt it, because that is what the reality of life is. And the more we will adapt, and the more we will accept it in our day-to-day life and practice, we will achieve more success and the comfort and the convenience. And that is what even government is also doing in every sector. So with that background, the real technology guy, Mr. Neeraj Hati Singh, who is in this technology technology solutions since more than 30 years, and very good friend of mine, and one of the top 5 GSP which the GST network have appointed, and regular interacting with the GST network, their officers and policies, and a technology guy, and very good human being as well as very humble. I would request Neeraj Bhai to take us through what are the technology updates are going to happen in next 1 year, 2 years, and what are the expectations of government as well as GST network, and how we should be geared up as a professional as well as a trade and industry member to be to be live with the government expectations and the changes. Over to Neeraj Bhai.
Neeraj sir, we are not able to hear you. Hello, Neeraj sir, we are not able to hear you.
Thanks, Amish bhai. Thanks, Javadi sir, and thanks, Vishen bhai.
Now it's audible.
Yeah, for the nice setup and the introductions that you have done. I would say GSTN and the GST regime in India is passing through a very major transformation. The transformation started 5 years back, and it is still continuing. And I think the challenges for the industry to adapt to the new regime were very high. at the beginning in 2017. Now all of us have adapted to it, and now even from 1st October we are talking about e-invoicing coming in for 10 crore and above, and maybe from 1st January or 1st April even for 5 crore and above. Then people are not worried about it because there are enough technology solutions available. People are fine-tuned to this particular activity and they are kind of doing it well. Now I want to kind of touch base some of the aspects in terms of the return filing capabilities and where we are there. So GST Council comes up with certain clarifications, certain changes, certain implementations to be done, but it is not always where GSTN has been able to kind of be at the same pace as the GST Council. And I would really request Zaveri sir to kind of take it up with GSTN. We are trying our best to kind of inform them. But from the government side, even if you can take it up that the changes that are happening at the council level or the things that needs to be implemented, if GSTN can be at the same pace or we can give a more window to the taxpayers for those implementation, it will be kind of more helpful. Now, the interaction that we are having with the GSTN, the movement is towards auto-populating of returns. So kind of you generate e-invoices, that e-invoices captures all the information that is required for GSTR1 and that gets same auto-populated into the GST network. Now, this is something by which your GSTR1 will be completely auto-populated and you don't have to do much work around it. Similarly, with the 2B report coming in, and if you can work on the same 2B report, a certain amount of auto-population will straight away come into 3B. And that also is expected that the returns over a period of time, at least for the small taxpayers, gets auto-populated automatically and nobody has to work more onto it. So this type of a simplification of the entire process is happening. At the same time, they have also been working very heavily in closing all the loopholes into the system. So that is also area in working. So initially we were able to kind of decouple GSTR1 and GSTR3B. So now that has been removed. So whatever the liability comes out of GSTR1 has to be kind of accommodated into 3B and then only you are able to file. A similar change in terms of kind of first we were able to submit the return and file. Now it has been kind of put into a single button so that you only go ahead and file onto it. So these are multiple different changes which are happening on the GSTN portal and the process is ongoing. The process have been simplified and maybe 2 years back or 3 years back on the date of filing GSTR1 and the date of filing GSTR3B, it was impossible for us to travel. Means like we had to be in office. So many clients were facing challenges. So many clients were facing issues, not able to upload the data, not able to file. But I think since last 1 year, things have streamlined and smoothened out to such an extent that nobody is kind of required to do that. Now, I want to touch base another one aspect which is there. And I think from the GSTN side, from the GST Council side, from all the GST department people, fraud identification and fraudulent transaction removal is the most key aspects. And this is something being very closely monitored. Systems have been put into place, alerts have been put into place for identification of such area. And if I take a very simple example, that most of the people who have a financial crunch or kind of not having the kind of finances to take care of day-to-day business, they normally delay their GST filing dates or they delay the return filing. And these are some aspects which are visible to the entire ecosystem today. So it is very easy for your banker to know that you are filing your returns not in time. And then they start taking corrective measures for the customer by tightening the screws. So it is important that you work with your bankers, you work with your financials, but you file your tax returns on time because that will improve your credit ratings overall into the entire process. In India, banks and institutions were not taking the GST returns or the GST data to that extent in terms of taking their financial decisions, but now it is happening very clearly and very efficiently. Having said that, and kind of when we take this entire discussion further, then the type of changes which are going to come in is like from your accounting software or from your ERP, whatever you may be using, there is a kind of a necessity that you automatically update the data into the GST portal. So if I take different countries across the globe, they kind of expect a digital link to be established between your accounting package to the government reporting, and manual process needs to be avoided to the maximum. Now this is something which will sooner or later come into India as well, and the kind of a manual process will be eliminated. So if you are not on a kind of any kind of accounting software, GSTN has provided about 8 accounting software free of cost from the GSTN portal itself. You can utilize them, digitize your business, and ensure that you comply with the tax regulatory authority. This is also kind of a necessity into it. Another aspect we have taken up quite a bit with GSTN, and even Zaveri sir, we will need your support into that and the departments, that where a B2B invoices is being raised, if we can provide the e-way bill information also into the same request, and we have an invoice and an e-way bill as a single kind of a document for where the B2B invoices are being raised, it will smoothen out the business quite a bit for the small taxpayers. And this is also area that all of us are working in. With the account aggregator ecosystem coming into play, verification and validation of the transaction invoices and validations of the data of the taxpayers through after giving right consent will become much more easier, and banks will start financing the invoices at a very regular stage, and that is also something which is going to benefit the industry quite a bit. So most important part overall is move towards a technology solution, start deploying some kind of the other kind of a technology solution into your businesses, ensure that the digitization is seamless from the accounting package that you are using to the GSTN data. Select the accounting package where all the logs are being maintained, because sooner or later that is a regulatory requirement, and people will kind of come and ask you if you have made any changes into your accounting system, how it is going to happen. Third thing is move away from all possible fraudulent transactions and the kind of buyers or sellers that you are working with it. You can easily go to the GSTN portal, or you can kind of go to GSPs like us and get the information whether your vendors and your customers are timely tax filers or not. And it is easily verifiable data. And if you are able to kind of do that, it will help you in a much larger space to ensure that your fund flow is in time and you are able to do business correctly. So these are the few of the changes and few of the areas where you should kind of really take care into the whole business and adapt technology to the most, because we are now moving more and more into a technology era, and the manual work that is going to come in and is going to be reduced substantially. So that is a kind of a approach we should take onto the technology front. These are some of the high level changes, the RPA systems, the kind of accounting package, automation, and all that is now being much more important. The last point and the most important for us is reconciliation of your data. So reconciliation of your purchase data with your ITC that you are claiming is extremely important, because now with 10 crore plus coming in and 6-digit HSN code being mandated, so it is important that they provide the data in the right manner even on the GSTN portal, and kind of ensure that that gets updated properly into the systems. It is going to help you much more in ensuring that you get the right ITC onto it. So reconciliation is going to be a major challenge. We are seeing lots and lots of notices at every taxpayer's area coming in from the department, and majority of those notices are information requisition for the data that you have filed. Now, when we talk to so many clients, they just don't have the data what they have filed into the past area, and that is creating a lot of problems for them for reconstructing that data and updating that to the kind of authorities. So it is impossible. It's very kind of necessary that whatever past data is there, you kind of work onto it, but for future you implement systems by which you do not have to get challenged in terms of the data that you need to provide to the tax authorities. Another aspect that we have seen the taxpayers making a major mistake is whatever e-invoice data is getting auto-populated onto the GSTN portal, they go ahead, delete that invoice data and upload GSTR1 again. Now, this is a kind of a flexibility which has been provided by the GSTN, but it is kind of being misused. And this is delaying the payment processing at the large corporates for the small medium enterprises, and it is creating a lot of hassles into the system. So I would request you please do not delete the auto-populated data onto the GSTN portal and ensure that the e-invoice data is automatically available for the people to whom you have sold your goods, so that they can kind of take the input credit from it itself and pay timely to you. So these are some of the kind of high level pointers that I wanted to talk about, and very open to questions even from the panelists or even from the participants. If there are any questions around the technology area, I'm more than happy to answer that into it. So that's all from my side, Amish bhai, and over back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Neeraj bhai. There are a couple of questions that are being asked in the common forum. That because the last number, maybe Javeri sir can also reply. How many SSEs are there? Like in earlier regime, we had around 15 lakh service tax registrations, 7-8 lakhs excise and VAT, different number. And last time, what I recollect, please correct me wherever I have old figures, around 1.2 crore SSEs were there, out of which maybe 20 lakhs were in composition scheme. So maybe any, not latest, but at least 2-3 months back data that because in Chamber of Commerce is also the normally they are they are eager to know the number of taxpayers.
Amish bhai, the latest count that I am aware was around 1.35 crore taxpayers that was there. Exactly the bifurcation on the composition, I am not aware of it, but that was the kind of number which is coming to my mind straight away. I think Zaveri sir may be having a better insight onto it from his end.
I am aware of the dealers who are registered with the state, and in the Gujarat state around 11 lakh 10,000 dealers are there. But I will give you exact numbers in 10-15 minutes or in the last session.
Okay, got it, sir. So around 11 lakh are registered SSEs with Gujarat government. Yeah, sir. And
11 lakhs 15,000 around are the total registered dealers in the state, and we are administrating around 6 lakhs dealers, and 4 lakh plus 5 lakh around dealers are administered by the CGST.
yes.
And out of that 11 lakh, 90,000 dealers are in the lump sum. But exact numbers I have asked from my team, and I will give you in the last session.
Composition. Oh, so out of 11, if we roughly take 11 lakhs, around 1 lakh is from composition and 10 lakhs are regular taxpayers. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one more question I would like to ask to Neeraj bhai, that this 2A, 2B is being taken care of now, right? The 2B has been mandated, and what you foresee the next path by GST network, that how to, because there are problems of Javeri sir also know, and we have been discussing with all the three IS officers about the fake invoices, about the bogus billing, or the movement of goods without invoice and invoice without goods and goods without invoice. These problems are there, sir. We all know. And how much it is possible because of this recent change that we can take credit only when it is reflected in our 2A 2B portal, then only we can claim it, which is rightfully so. I'd been advised, I had been the person though it is not completely in favor of trade and industry, but I was in favor of this proposition since long, maybe more than 3 years back. Javeri sir, when JP Gupta sir, IAS, who is now in finance secretary at Gandhinagar, even that was advanced. So how we look forward, because that is still happening, though on because of efforts by the government it has reduced. But how we can advise our trade and industry members that because there are certain hand in gloves, but there are so many people who are innocent or who have just purchased things and they are not aware that this is a kind of racket or scandal or maybe kind of tax evasion. So how we can questions to both Javeri sir and Neeraj bhai. Neeraj bhai can answer by what kind of technology it can be possible, and Javeri sir can enlighten us whatever kind of actions government is taking or whatever kind of precautions trade and industry should take.
Amish bhai, I think the technology is already available. So whatever vendors you are dealing with here, whatever customers you are dealing with, you should always do a pre-verification of those customers by the GSTN ID and whether they are timely filers or not. That information is available on the GSTN portal. It is also available through APIs from providers like us. So we should not deal with people who are not kind of timely and compliant onto it. That is point number one, because anybody dealing in the bogus billing over a period of time is not going to be filing his returns on time. So looking at a people's past history is very important. Second thing, that alone will not suffice in terms of ensuring that you are not getting bogus invoices from them or something of that sort, but ensuring that whatever systems are prescribed by the law and by the technology arm, we kind of follow it completely. So any lacuna into that or any dilution into those will always create a hassle into it. Third thing is, in the digital world, everything gets recorded at one stage or the. So like if you are kind of transferring goods from one place to the another place, even the e-way bill, the transporter information and everything is kind of visible and available. And sooner or later, the government departments, they have not explicitly come out with any clarifications onto it, but all the systems will get integrated and the visibility and the alert systems will be put into place. So that is a kind of possibility. And I will honestly say, Zaveri Saab and his team may be having far more insights in terms of the alerts that they are getting in terms of fraudulent transactions than any time before. So I think with the data analytics available at the GSTN, that kind of information is very much available. So as a taxpayer, we should also focus on the compliance part and give it equal importance as much as we are giving to our business. So both are equally important, and if we are vigilant about it, if we are aware about it, then chances of getting into a fraudulent transaction would be much less. But anybody wanting to make a quick buck and earn money very fast is going to get into this kind of a mess and going to have challenges around it. So that is something I would say that. And on the 2B side, you should not take credit whatever is not available on the 2B. And the biggest challenge that we have seen in compliance is the manual data entry challenges, because you cannot kind of even type in the invoice number completely. So the manual data entry challenge is something which is going to be very critical. And as long as you can automate those processes, the entire thing will be much smoother in terms of reconciliation and taking the 2B credit. Over to Zaveri sir.
See, billing is a cancer for the department. And what Amish bhai has told and what Neeraj bhai has suggested, if a genuine dealer is there, he has to take proper care in his purchases. See, there are n number of transactions during the day in any state, and the person who has got the fake bills, he is asking to the government from whom we can purchase, you can suggest. So it is the duty of the dealer that he has to purchase the material from that dealer, those who are having some good prestige in the market or who is giving the goods and at the same time is giving the e-way bill and the bill. But in the competitive market, some dealers are getting goods cheaper than the regular price. if a product is costing 100 rupees with GST, 100 rupees plus GST, and 2 or 3 regular dealer are paying the same rate like 99, 99.50, 100 or 101 plus GST. But the person who has just joined the industry and told that I will give these goods in 105 rupees with GST. So the purchaser is well aware that this bill is fake bill. When the rate came from the department, either from the CGST or from the state GST, the dealer is asking that, sir, what we can do. So buyers beware is the first appropriate action from the dealer, and second, he has to see from the technology, he can see the genuinity of the dealer that he is dealing such amount of transaction in the last month, in the prior month. But in the first month, whenever he got the registration certificate from the department, and in the first month he is doing the transaction of 10 crores or 5 crores, that is not possible in any industry. If in exceptional cases, suppose he has taken any distributorship from a good company and he is doing the great business in the first month, that is okay. Other in except like these cases, dealer has to be aware and see in income tax, if you paid any amount or your TDS has been cut by the dealer, and if it is not shown in 26 AS, you are not getting the credit in the income tax department also. And no dealer in the country will say in the income tax department, sir, why it is not shown in 26 AS, because that system was established in the income tax department since long back. So at the likewise, at the same way, if you are not getting that dealer's ITC in the 2A or 2B, then you are not entitled to get. And we have now put proper check that if a dealer is filing GSTR 1 consecutively for 2 months, and if he is not filing 3B, then he is not allowed to file GSTR 1. So we are taking proper care for the billing. And when before 15 minutes I have told, when I joined the department once again, we have started to catch those dealers who are taking fake invoices, not those dealers who are giving fake. There are n number of dealers, lakhs of dealers are there who are giving the fake invoices. But the very good dealers of the state, who is having turnover of around 500 crores and 200 crores industries, they are taking fake invoices. So we have caught that dealer and we have put them behind the bar, and it has affected very well. Our income has got 50% up in the last year, 47% up. And in that last 2021-22, 2 months are the severely hit by the COVID. So in 10 months, we have at least got 50% hike, from 20,000 non-subsidy good to 30,000 crore rupees, and from 30,000 to 46,000 crores in SGST. We have tried to eliminate billing in Gujarat, and we are taking proper steps. But I request all the dealers of the state through this ASSOCHAM that please give proper knowledge to your dealer that they should try to purchase from the genuine dealer of the state. That's from my side.
Thank you, Javeri sir. In my opinion, the very important point that he has narrated, and very live example, and very important point that every dealer will have to take care of is, Javeri sir rightly mentioned, that if 3 people are telling that 99 rupees or 100 rupees is the cost or the selling price plus GST, and there are people in market who would give you maybe for 95 rupees, 96 rupees, 94 rupees plus GST. So there are so many, I also come across so many people who are really genuine, but only because of rate difference, that okay, this is more cheaper, especially in the kind of steel industry, scrap industry, and so many other industries, and they've fallen in trap. And at the end of the day, the benefit they got is only 3-4 rupees in price difference, but at the same time, when inquiry opens, they have to pay 18%. So around, against the benefit of 3-4 rupees, they have to pay 18 rupees of GST. Plus on that 24% is the interest and the penalty. So the penal provisions are so heavy. If it is more than 5 crore, then even only not only a dealer but a purchaser who has taken a wrong or fraudulent ITC, he can also be put behind bars. So that is also a problem. So I would request all to keep in mind both the points. One is technically or digitally whatever you have observed, like they are compliant, their number is valid, and they seem to be a good dealer, as well as the price difference. So I would request for that. And I think, Javeri sir, there are so many other points also, like in clarification in hospital, then ice cream industry, then plotting, and the branded and unbranded, or that has been converted into a loose pack with name, without name of 25 kg. I would request now Sri Rasmin Vaja, who is a chartered accountant and who is practicing in service tax and GST. So from KMS, he will take us through around 20-25 minutes on 47 GST Council. And after that, because there are so many points, whatever new changes have come, sir, like in all these kind of dharamsalas or kind of PGs, and more than 1000, less than 1000 has also been taxable, and certain circular or clarification has come in plotting. So after his, we will take up questions, and whatever kind of support or knowledge we will get from you, sir. I hand over to Mr. Rasmin Vaja.
Good morning, all. Good morning, Javeri sir, Hamish bhai, Neeraj bhai, Tushar bhai, and I thank ASSOCHAM for giving me this opportunity for sharing some of my views. Tushar bhai, I can share the screen, right?
Uh, no, just give me a minute. I'll give you the sharing links. Just a minute.
Yeah. Can you just, yeah. So meanwhile, this technological arrangements has been done. I'll just.
Yes, sir. Now you can share, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
So, of course, this is a long list of amendments that has been done in this 47 GST Council meeting, but I'll briefly touch upon the important parts that has been, or important factors that are affecting and has been discussed a lot about it. So, actually, the thing is that on mark of this 5-year completion of GST law, the meeting was basically focused on rate rationalization. So, we'll see that there has been a lot of amendments so far as GST rates are concerned, relating betting, gambling, and casinos, horse racing, and lottery, GST implication on that. Then IT reforms, as very well covered by Neeraj Bhai about it. And a group of ministers were formed for the movement of precious metals, because as we are aware that e-way bill is not actually applicable for the precious metal. For example, the goods, gold jewelry, diamonds, etc., are moving from one place to another. In that case, e-way bill is not necessary. So there was a discussion about that, whether it could be made necessary for them or not. And eventually the discussion was done, and the decision was taken that every state will take its own decision about whether they should be putting this e-way bill compulsion on movement of precious metals. So quickly, yeah. Quickly moving to the industry-wise overview, the real estate sector, there was a lot of changes that were there in real estate sector. Clarification, very well wanted clarification about plotting of land. Rates were increased from on all the government work that were there at 12% earlier. Now everything is taxable at 18%. So far as works contract services are concerned, there are no different rates. All are taxed at 18% as of now after this 18 July 2022. There are a couple of things which are as of now taxed at 12%, but mostly everything is taxed at 18%. This is to be kept in mind, because as a consultant we used to face this type of situation that people in service tax regime, the people used to think that, oh, it is a government contract, so there should be no service tax on it. And after GST it was also a misconception. Rates were 12%, but now everything is at 18%. Transportation and logistics, a very important amendment is that since service tax regime, there was this exemption of 750 per consignment for GTA service, goods transportation by road, on which reverse charge is applicable. Now that exemption has been withdrawn. So any amount of charges paid for the transportation to a GTA, it would be taxable and covered under reverse charge mechanism. Hospitality sector, there are changes, but the important change is that the basic exemption limit of 1000 for hotels, that has been removed. So every hotels are taxable irrespective of whatever the rack rate or declared tariff is. Apart from that, the clarification is being that for ice cream parlors, there is this clarification given by the press release that of course there is this confusion going around that whether it should be taxed at 18% or 12%. Then eventually government came out with the clarification that all the ice cream parlors, the ice cream sold would be taxed at 18% since 1/7/2017. But since this was this confusion, so it was clarified that from that particular period, whether you have paid before that particular period, whether you have paid 5% or 18%, it will be accepted, but henceforth it will be taxed at 18%. Healthcare, a major change in healthcare. Hospital rooms other than ICU, where per room charges are exceeding 5,000, then GST is applicable at 5%. No ITC is allowed. Then electric vehicle, there is a concession given to the electrical vehicle, and increase in rate of Tetra Pak. So that the industries, packaged food industries, will be facing a bit brunt of it, and eventually there will be inflation in the or increase in the price rise wherein the Tetra Paks are used. So quickly going to the sector-wise amendment. So it was understood that for whatever whatever construction services are provided for roads, bridges, metro, effluent treatment plant, crematorium, then to state government or central government for historical monuments, canals, dams, pipelines, plants for water supply, everything was taxed at 18%, 12%. But now it has been increased from 12 to 18% from 18th of July 2022. There is a common question that comes to us from the taxpayers, that what about the existing contracts? I mean, what about the existing contracts, whether they will continue at 12% or 18%? It is clarified that it would be taxed at 18% if invoices are raised after 18th of July 2022, and whether that has been considered in contract or agreement or not, but it would be taxed at 18%. And as I was saying, that everything is taxed at 18%, apart from a couple of entries which says that works contracts applied to central government or state government involving predominantly the earthworks. So basically predominantly earthwork means 75% of the contract is basically earthworks, for example site formation services and all, that were earlier taxed at 5%, but now they are taxed at 12%. So except this earthwork type of contracts, everything under works contract is taxed at 18%. Don't misunderstand that about real estate sector, because works contract are separate and real estate sector construction services are different. So in construction services, again I'll just briefly touch upon that. Rates are 1% for affordable housing, effective rates 5% for non-affordable housing, 12% effectively for commercial construction. Apart from that, these are the rates: 18% on all the works contract, and for this earthwork type of contracts, 12%. So this is this comparable chart given up to the day, up to 17th of July, what was rate, and after from 18th of July, what was the rate now applicable. Now there is no confusion about whether what is government authority, what is governmental entity, because everything is taxed at 18% for so far as works contracts are concerned. Transportation and logistics sector, as I said, that there is a very, very important change in this particular thing, that the exemption of 750 per consignment or multiple consignment in a single carriage for 1500. This basic exemption limit has been withdrawn. So now it would be taxed at 5% on 12%. Why I am saying 5% on 12%? Because along with this amendment, there has been amendment in GTA rates also, or options given, that if a transporter wants to pay GST, then he can also pay GST and forward charge. If he wants to pay under GST under forward charge, then also there are two options: 5% or 12%, 5% without ITC and 12% with ITC. So a transporter can also claim the input tax credit of whatever expenditure he incurs for the transportation by paying 12% on his revenue. And if you don't want to avail any ITC, then 5% under forward charge, and 5% under reverse charge option is still there. So transporter can choose that I don't want to pay the GST, I don't want to obtain the registration, so the recipient is liable to pay 5% GST under reverse charge, and that 5% will be available as an ITC if it is an eligible ITC, not blocked under 17 section 17. Apart from that, transportation of a rail vessel or railway equipment, it was nil. Now it is taxed at 5%. This is a very, very important change, that storage and warehousing of commodity. So, for example, nuts, spices, copra, jaggery, cotton, etc., it was exempted. So, storage and warehousing for this services provided. Then fumigation in a warehouse of agriculture produce, that are all exempted. But from now, 18th of July 2022, everything is taxed at 18%. I'll skip this because this is for postal department. So just to briefly say that every services provided by postal department are now under forward charge mechanism. So postal department will be raising an invoice to the customers. Transportation sector or hospitality sector, travel sector, then Northeast Airlines, it was exempted till 17th of July, but now for other than economy class, it is 12%. There has been reduction in rate from on transportation of passenger through ropeway from 18% to 5%. This is important. Tour operators, highly impacting the tour operators, where tour operator services are performed wholly in India. It is obviously taxed at 5%, whether the service recipient is Indian or foreign. But where the tour operator services are performed wholly outside India to a foreign tourist, then it is exempted. The amendment that has been carried out is that the tour operator services partly performed in India and partly outside India, then the proportionate value of service in India to a foreign tourist will be taxed at 5%, and proportionate value of service outside India will be taxed will be exempted. So this proportion would be calculated in the manner that the value of services performed outside India shall be lower of based on the number of days the tour is performed outside India, or 50% of total consideration charge. This may create some confusion, so it is advisable that you can provide two different packages for the foreign tourist who wants to cover the India as well as the other parts of Asia. So that can be this confusion or calculation can be avoided by that particular thing. But this is the amendment that has been carried out. Residential dwelling by business entity. So residential dwelling, so residential units given on rent are basically exempted from GST. It was also exempted under service tax, but now there is a scenario wherein said that various residential units are taken by companies, a corporate for dwelling of their employees, for taking providing them either with some rent or without any rent as an employee. So if a land, or if a residential property owner gives this his unit to any business entity for the use under course or furtherance of business, then the person who is taking the residential dwelling, receiving the residential dwelling renting, he will be liable to pay tax under reverse charge. And of course the person who is owning that residential dwelling is not liable to obtain even registration, and he is not liable to pay any tax. But the person who is receiving, registered person who is receiving, then only he is liable to obtain the registration. It should be important. It should be important that in case of in course and furtherance of business only, this tax is applicable. It has been clarified lately by CBIC that for personal consumption, if that has been taken, and if at all, for example, I am a registered person because I am having certain commercial property, and for which I have to obtain GST registration, and apart from that I am also living in a rented premises, then on that rented premises which is being personally used, then on that case, even though I am registered, there is no requirement to pay GST under RCM. This is important. There was a lot of UN cry on social media that accommodation services, I mean, so the hotel services, there was an exemption that if a room rent per day is below 1,000, then there was exemption till 17th of July. Now that exemption has been withdrawn, so all the small hotels having this room rent less than 1,000 are covered, including dharamshala and all. So there was this hue and cry that what about the room rents that has been given by religious in religious premises by various religious trusts, and the example was given was about the Golden Temple in Amritsar. Though it was very much clarified that there is an exemption that in religious precincts, I mean religious premises where there is this temple or any other religious monument, then in that case, in that precincts, if any room rent is been given, then this 1,000 exemption is still available in another entry, so that is not taxable. Healthcare sector, there have been certain tweaks in the appliances that are used in certain goods, but the important is this thing that room rents other than ICU are taxable at if they are in excess of 5,000, they are taxable as 5% without ITC. Now I have of course the CBIC has not addressed that what will be the take under for the composition supply, because this will indirectly contradicting the concept of composite supply which is given under the GST law. So time will tell what will happen, but as of now, the GST is applicable on room rent for any hospital other than ICU if that room rent per day is exceeding rupees 5,000. Of course, ICU room rent, whether it is 1,000 or 5,000, it will not impact and it will still be exempt from GST. There are certain amendment in job working also. So increase in rates for job worker providing services from 5% to 12%. Regarding other products also, there has been rate rationalization by increasing rates, printing or writing or drawing ink 12%, 18%, knives from 12% to 18%. Similarly, LED lamps from 12% to 18%. Solar water heater and system that has been increased from 5% to 12%. Similarly, there has been change. An important change that I would like to state over here is that the e-waste has been increased from 5% to 18%. So this is important because as of now, a lot of companies are paying GST for the e-waste, and hence it has been it is to be noted that from 18th of July, rate has been increased from 5% to 18%. Checks, so bank needs to be are also impacted. The checks loose or in book form, it was exempted, but now it is at 18%. This is a very important change. There is a very huge shift on taxability. There was a lot of discussion about this thing also on the social media. That previously, I mean, before 18th of July 2022, the taxability was about that on various food grains or food items that were sold in a unit container and with bearing a registered brand. And registered brand means the brand where the right of brand has not been surrendered, then they were taxed at 5% or 12%. If it were not sold under registered brand, then it was exempted. Now this entire arrangement of taxing these items under registered brand has been done away with, and new concept of following the whether it is pre-packaged or labeled as per the legal meteorological act. The GST implications are dependent on that particular thing. These are a lot of things, especially you can see that curd, lassi and buttermilk that are also covered. Namkeens, bhujia, jaggery, all cereals, all food items. So this type of items are covered. Now I'll just briefly touch upon the scenario that if it is covered under Legal Meteorological Act and if it has to follow the pre-package requirement, I mean before it is being sold to the customer, it is pre-packaged, then up to 25 kg it is GST is payable, and if it is more than 25 kg, Legal Meteorological Act is not to be followed, and hence it is exempted. Again, if 10 packages of 10 kgs, then GST is payable. But if it one package of 50 kg, then GST is not payable. Wholesaler to distributor, distributor to consumer, whosoever is there in this supply chain, at every stage GST is payable. Now prepackaged form sold up to 25 kg from wholesaler to distributor, then also payable. And from that 25 kg, if the distributor is again repacking and keeping it pre-packaged at 1 kg and then selling it to customer at 1 kg, then that is also GST is payable. But if the such goods are sold in loose manner, so when a customer comes and he packs, he gives from the loose form and then packs in front of him, then GST is not payable. So this is very, very important. That is the difference of pre-packaged and not pre-packaged goods and pre-labeled. Another thing, that Legal Meteorological Act is not to be followed by the wholesaler, manufacturer or distributor when they are supplying to industrial or institutional consumer. Institutional consumer means the transportations, airways, railways, hotels, hospital, and industrial consumer who buys the packaged goods directly from the manufacturer for the industry. On that case, GST is not payable. There are certain other amendments that restrictions on refund of ITC and inverted. This is impacting the edible oil industry. That inverted duty structure refund was allowed to edible oil manufacturer, but now that has been withdrawn. So the impact was the scenario is such that in case of an edible oil manufacturer, the raw material, that is raw oil, comes at 5%. For example, value is 800 and input is 40, but packing material and other chemicals that are used in this edible oil is taxed at 18%, and the GST input it's at 32.40 rupees. So ITC, total ITC is 72 rupees, but the output GST rate is 5%, so it is taxed at 50 rupees. So there is this inversion of 22 rupees in this particular scenario. This refund was as of now allowed, but now after this amendment, the this refund is blocked, and now there will be a huge blockage of cash flow for the edible oil industries. This is like what we have seen so far. Quick, of course, the services by RBI, IRDA, SEBI, and FSSI has been taxed now at 18%. Services provided by GST network also is covered under taxation at 18% is applicable on this. This is a very, very important and very, very beneficial step taken by the government, is that if any balance is available in electronic cash ledger in one state and same company is having registration in another state, then by way of filing a particular form, you can transfer by way of filing PMT09, you can transfer the balance in cash ledger to another state, and that way there will be less blockage of cash if at all there is some liability in another state where there is no balance available in cash ledger. There is an retrospective amendment under section 50. It says that interest is applicable at 18% retrospectively on all the cases. So it is to be noted that on all the cases the interest rate at 18% is applicable, whether delayed payment or wrongful availment of ITC. And one more important thing is that for the wrongful availment of ITC, if I am having the balance of ITC continuous for the period, then also there is no requirement to pay interest, because there is this continuous balance maintained in electronic credit ledger. So where this balance of electronic credit ledger is utilized, from that point of time 18% GST interest liability will be applicable. This is about 99C composition scheme. There are certain relaxations given for financial year 21-22. So far as filing of GSTR 9, we all know there is this form GSTR 9, and there are many tables and particulars that are required to be filled, but many of the things have been kept optional right from 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. and now it is also made optional from 21-22 also. Extension in time limits, this is very important because for refund claims the time limit is 2 years from the relevant date, but the period from, this is because of COVID, the period from 1st of March 2020 to 28th of February 2022 should be excluded from computation of period of limitation for filing of refund. So we can see that for July 2018 my old time limit was 20 August 2022, but now my new time limit is 2020, the new time limit is 20th August 2022. So similarly this is a beneficial provision or the beneficial thing that has been there for taxpayers, and time limit you can file the refund within time limit if at all you can put yourself in these dates. There has been changes in GST 3B, the reporting pattern has been changed, and there is this circular also given for this thing. I'll quickly of course, there is this case of VKC footsteps. Therein, Supreme Court said that inverted duty structure, the formula is the restriction on input services, the refund of ITC on input services is proper, so there is no wrong in it. But of course, they need to tweak a bit for formula. So that amendment has been carried out in the formula. So earlier around 10-12% as compared to earlier formula, now 10-12% of refund can be, excess refund can be claimed by way of this amendment that has been carried out in this formula. There are a lot of changes, of course, but I'll just briefly touch upon whatever important. This is that circular. This is the circular that about the reporting of information in GSTR 1 and 3B. There is a circular about fake and bogus billing, that how the tax should be collected from the person who has issued a fake billing and who has taken the credit. Now this is a very important clarification from government that Mr. A, this scenario, Mr. A has issued fake invoice to Mr. B. Then the government has clarified that Mr. A has not done supply because it is not supply as per section 7, and hence the penal provisions or demand and recovery provisions on 73 and 74 cannot be followed in this thing. 122 section 122 penal provisions should be followed and for issuing the tax invoice, and 100% penalty is to be recovered from Mr. A. And since it is not a supply, the tax, interest and penalty, that type of recovery proceedings cannot be done from Mr. A. Now, Mr. A has issued to B, but Mr. B has issued a proper invoice to Mr. C. Then again the same thing, Mr. B, there is no supply that he has been received, but so the ITC that has been received wrongly from Mr. A to Mr. B, on that case, penal action is to be taken under 74. Then no penalty for same transaction can be imposed on B under the any other section. So for Mr. A also 122, Mr. B also 122, no 73 and 74 because that is not a supply. Now both the parties have issued the fake invoice, then on both the parties the same provisions will be applicable, and penal provisions under 122 will be applicable for Mr. A, Mr. B. For the Mr. B will be facing two types of penal provisions for receiving the wrong ITC and for issuing the wrong fake invoicing. I think I've mostly covered the important parts of the amendment that has been. Of course, the pending clarifications, ice cream parlor also has been covered. Yes. So this was all from my side. I again thank ASSOCHAM for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a great insight you shared. And now I think we are completed with the discussion, and so we should come for the FAQ part. We should start the questions.
If Kiran Javeri sir is available, I would like to ask one question. I'm facing a live issue.
Just a minute, let me check. Yes, he's there. Sir is there. Sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I am having one question about the amendment that has been carried out by way of notification issued by CBIC. So, is it really necessary that after the notification has been issued by CGST, state GST department needs to issue notification, and after that only state can implement those type of changes? Why I am asking is that because recently there was this change in the formula for export of without payment. For if you are aware, then that there is this confusion about CIF and FOB value to be considered. So that confusion has been clarified by the notification recently issued. But the issue that I am talking about is that whether we have to wait for any SGST notification for this amendment to be carried out at the state level. Kiran sir.
Huh? Actually, we have issued that notification from the state, I think so. So
Okay.
if you have not get the copy, I will give you the copy. But
Okay.
almost we are issuing the same notification, whatever suggested by the CBIC. Those
Okay.
notifications are issuing by the CGST, then state has to issue the same notification, and we are
Oh.
implementing it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
એટલે મેં 4 વાગે સેટ પાસે પહોંચવાનું છે. કઈ ફાઇલ પેલા રત્નાબેનને બોલાયા છે. પીડી વાળી ફાઇલ લઈ લેજો. બરાબર. અને એ ફાઇલ લીધે આપણા
We would in 5 minutes we would be completing the session. We would like to hear the questions. Amish sir.
જયેશ બધું તૈયાર છે.
Yeah, so it was a good session by Rasmin Bhai. The couple of questions that we have received, that maybe Javeri sir can take it forward.
હા એ લઈ લો.
So, sir, one is a kind of we would require to meet you regarding ice cream industry, the controversy.
આ બેસો જ ને બાકી આ બધું આઈસ્ક્રીમમાં શું છે?
So ice cream industry, whether 5% or 18%, the latest circular has come, and sorry, one question before that, sir. One question is, my question is regarding date of applicability of new formula regarding inverted duty structure. That is 18th July as per 47 GST Council meeting. So that was the one of the question in chat, and was a couple of questions I have received personally, sir. One I'll just briefly tell you before. One is for ice cream industry. If you can now, or maybe those industry people want to meet you, sir. Second is, sir, branded and unbranded 25 kg has come. 25 kg till 25 kg packing there is no tax, and from 18th July 2022 more than 25 sorry, my mistake, more than 25 kg there is no tax, and below 25 kg packing it is tax if it is even though company's name. Third one is about plotting, sir. Plotting, Gujarat AAR has told 5%, then AAR has told 18%, sir. Goa AAR has told that plotting of land is not taxable. And after that, sir, in council meeting, 47th council meeting, it has come as if it is sewerage, common compound wall and common road, etc. etc. that they have written. So we have to take harmonious interpretation rule. So if it is so, then it will not be taxable. So that plotting also, if you can, because so many in so many plotting schemes, there are common clubhouse, then maybe tennis court or swimming pool or other amenities are there. Whether those would be covered in this 18th July change, or rather 47 GST council meeting minutes it was there, and then the circular has come. So these 3 points are there: ice cream, plotting, and up to 25 kg and after 25 kg, sir. So you feel that okay at present you would like to answer, then also it is possible, sir. Or rather we are going to anyway come as a part of ASSOCHAM or Gujarat Chamber, or maybe as a trade association to meet you, sir. At that time also you can clarify and take it forward, sir.
See, first of all, Amish bhai,
Ji, sir.
for ice cream parlors,
Ji, sir.
from 1st of July 2017 to 5th of October 2021,
Ji,
if
sir.
the parlor has paid 5% GST without taking any ITC, that will be okay from the department. So
Okay.
it was clarified by the department, and I think so it is conveyed to all the bar association and the chambers from the department. Second, FAQs on this packing material above 25 kgs and below 25 kgs by the Revenue Department, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. FAQs are put on the domain on the website.
Ji,
And
sir.
if you want that copy, I can give you. I will mail you after this session. And third one, I don't get your question about the
Plotting.
real estate and plotting.
Yes,
So
sir.
give me it writing in writing on the
Yes.
ASSOCHAM's letterhead, and
Yeah.
we will answer within 7 days.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
fourth, a question by Mr. Vaja, that current contract, so from 18th of July, the rate is increased. So if there is a condition between the contractor and contractee is there or not, but rate will be applicable 18%. So now it will create lot many issue with contractor and contracting. In
Yeah.
even government department, we have such problems.
Yes.
In one department, because this 25 kg problem has arrived to us, and what happened? The contractor has given in writing that there is no tax in the GST, so our rates are with tax. They have not given that it is a tax-free item, and whatever tax applicable, that was the condition between the contractor and contractee. So he has given in the quotation to the government that the taxes are included. Now government is telling that from 18th of July, tax has been imposed by the central government, but you have written in your contract that taxes are included, so we will not pay the tax. So it will gone for the litigation in the higher legal forum. So there will be problem in some of the government and semi-government department and n number of problems. But my advice is that from 18 July, the rate is 18% or whatever it may be applicable, but one has to charge 18% and they have to either convince to your contractor or you have to fight. That is the only option available with you.
Okay, sir. I noted your point. Though I summarize, sir, that whatever contract, suppose 100 crore contracts is done, and already 40 crore billing is done before 18th July. Now, after 18th July, 60 crores billing is to be made, whether it to government or whether it to the main contractor. On those 60 crore, instead of 12%, which was to be charged earlier, instead of 12%, 18% will have to be charged. And the differential 6%, they will have to demand from either government or the main contractor if it is not with the government, sir. બરાબર છે?
Sure.
Right. Sir, one more point on plotting, sir, we will come along with our short note or the question, just to elaborate for the benefit of other members also, sir. Sir, what happens is, suppose there is a land pocket of maybe 10 acre or so. In that, plotting is done, maybe of 500 square yard or 1000 square yard. And suppose 100 plots are being developed, and there is a common clubhouse, common facilities like swimming pool or tennis court or other kind of sports activities are there, along with the basic infrastructure like compound wall, sewerage, and the kind of road, common road, approachable road. Right, sir? So there is a controversy because AAR said here, state government of Gujarat, CGST and SGST, both joint commissioners told that it will be taxable at 5%. Then the matter went to AAR, which told that 18% is there. And now this clarification has also come after this 47th council meeting. And it is written that sale of land after leveling, laying down of drainage lines, etc., is sale of land and does not attract GST. It is, sir, 12 point E2 clarification, or the press release 47th meeting. 12th point is there, sir. So maybe you can take your own time, sir, but just to elaborate the facts of the case.
We have clarified that, and I will convey to you after this meeting. So it is there, and we have clarified on 17th of August by the Chief Commissioner of State Tax. We have a circular number 17709/2022 GST, and I will give that circular to you.
Yes, I have, sir. Ji, sir. Ji, I'll just read it, the page, maybe 14th point, right, sir?
14th point on 11th page.
Yeah, sir. Whether sale of land after leveling, laying down of drainage line, etc., is taxable under GST or not. Ji, sir. Sir, આમાં છે ને થોડી controversy એવી છે.
I know the controversy. That's why I have told that you just give me in the on the letterhead, and we will ask the same from the finance department. Whatever we have to clarify, we have clarified already. But furthermore, we have to ask the sense from the government, and then we will reply.
True. So that was one point. So one more point that has been discussed in all GIDC, sir.
Yes.
GIDC માં શું થાય છે કે આપણે દસ્તાવેજ કરીએ છીએ, બરાબર છે સાહેબ? અને એ 99 years નું આમ લીઝ ગણાય, આમ દસ્તાવેજ ગણાય. 6% stamp duty is being paid, plus it is loanable also, bank loanable also, and plus it can be sold also. એટલે suppose GIDC has allotted me and it is more than 30 years, so any industrial plot allotted by any industrial development like GIDC, MIDC or RIDC is exempt if it is more than 30 years. So all the allotments by GIDC is exempt. Whatever amount I pay to them is, suppose I have taken 1000 square yard of industrial plot. I did my activity for 10-15 years, and now I want to retire, and I want to sell it to Mr. Vaja. So I've been given right for 99 years, renewable with token 1 rupee because of some constitution pravdan or the provisions like GIFT City, Greater Noida land, Sabarmati riverfront, or maybe the plots that are being sold by ODA in open market or kind of GIDC can be given maximum for 99 years, sir. So what is the problem as of now is, since GIDC allots me, it is exempt, that is for sure. Now I am selling it to some private party, sir. So suppose the value of that plot is 2 crore, I got it for maybe 1.5 crore before 10-15 years from GIDC, which was exempt. Now I am selling it for rupees 2 crore to Mr. Vaja. So the point is, on that 18% GST is applicable or not, because there are two set of thoughts, sir.
At
Because
this juncture, you have to pay the tax. That is my personal belief. And you can ask the clarification And as of now, officers who are sitting on this building, we are of the opinion that it is taxable. But you can get the clarification and we will ask from the government also.
Ji.
But our opinion is the same, that you have to pay the tax.
So
Because government exempted
is
GITC, not you. If you are selling furthermore, then you have to pay the GST.
absolutely, sir.
That is our belief, and we are taking steps, and we are what we can say, we are collecting the revenue from the dealers.
Yes, yes.
We have recovered. We have at least recovered 10-20 crores on this point.
Sir, we have already received this representation. That's why I have put before you.
That's
we
good.
received notices
Because
from-
we are taking action, so you have some representation from the industry.
Yes, sir. So the point is that we have already from chambers, we have, or as a consultant also, we have always advised that you pay 18% and take the ITC. Means you cross charge it and take the ITC or the collect. So, but the point is that
The government has exempted GIDC only, or government sector only.
not recently, not recently, right? So that I agree, sir. The only point that we have received from industry, there are many small players in the market who are like in composition or who are not. For them, it is a problem. For big industries, it is revenue neutral because they are getting ITC. Suppose Mr. Vaja is paying me 2 crore 36 lakhs, 18%. I am paying to government 36 lakhs, and those 36 is eligible ITC for Mr. Vaja. So for him, it is not a problem. But suppose he is a composition, under composition, or maybe he is not registered at times, or kind of thing, or he has missed the bus. Suppose I have not charged to Mr. Vaja, and once the conveyance deed is done, but the notice will come in the name of Mr. Amish Khandar. At that time, if I approach him, he will not even look at me because the conveyance deed is already done and possession is done. So that is a point, sir. But we have already mentioned to our industry members that you should start cross-charging it, because GID says you have judiciously, not rightly.
See, Abhish bhai, in some kidding manner, let our officer work in such a way that you can have, you have to apply your mind and you can fight with us. In some of the cases, you have to come with us. Otherwise, after 5 years, act and law is settled nowadays. So some of these issues are creating by the assessing authority or investigation officer, and that is good for the system also. No? And you have to make representation to the our respected CM sir or FM sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can ask justice from there also.
Yes,
And your question before 20 minutes, that number of the dealers, normal taxpayers in Gujarat state are 10,17,516, and composition taxpayer are 95,316 on the date of 24th August 22.
Okay, you are very late.
Changing every day.
Very true, sir. Yeah, sir. So thank you for that information, sir. If you allow, there are one or two questions in chat box which are there, sir. Maybe
Yes.
ITC.
We still have 5 minutes more, so in 5 minutes we can.
Yes, sir. So ITC can be availed on expenditure of CSR or not. Our view is that it is eligible. Maybe you can share, sir, department, or maybe any kind
Amish
of.
bhai, prior to GST, you are also practicing in this service tax also.
And VAT,
So
and
you are also well aware that what act say. Let me ask you, what act says?
yes.
No, what act says?
Act says that for
What-
business and commerce, any expenditure and the credit on business and commerce, and which was not there, rather in GST, it is a very good or open definition that they have given. Right.
Don't put everything on the dealer side. Let it come to the state exchequer. There are number of cases in the advance ruling, and we have given decisions in the advance ruling also. You are well aware. And I think so. You are the consultant for the same in that advance ruling given by our chief commissioner and the CGST authority. let something come to the state exchequer, and that will be benefited to the all the people of the Gujarat, so government can spend for the benefit of the Gujarat and all the people in the country also.
Yeah, sir. So that was a question from Mr. Agarwal, which Mr.
Yes.
Tushar Gore passed on to me, whether ITC can be available on expenditure of CSR.
No,
or-
but you have the decision with you, I think so.
Yeah,
That's why I don't want to tell, but
yeah, this
that's why I
matter,
have asked, you are doing the practice in that,
yeah,
because
this matter will at least travel up to Supreme Court, sir. Like plotting, like transferable development right, TDR.
TDR.
There are certain kind of interpretational points which will be settled only at Supreme Court level. We hope so. So, but whether in whosoever favor, whether it is in favor of government, it is good that they are going to utilize those tax amount for the welfare of society, or if it is good for, if it is in favor of SSE, then they can prosper their business. So we are quite બની શકે એટલા અમે judicious રહીએ છીએ sir, like you. Question from Mr. Vikram Agarwal. How will take care of GST audit, whether to state range office or another randomly select office? This I am not getting how Mr. Vikram Agarwal has drafted this question. Uh, So maybe I will pass it on. I will take it the question fully so that I can understand, sir, and will put before you in our representation. So inverted
Sure.
duty structure is already question. Last question: inverted duty structure formula changed but not updated on GST portal. Till what time it will be updated? 20th September is extended due date for filing application for August 2018 refund. Sir, you can tell your officers that if they can take this point forward before GST network. Mr. Rahul has asked, Mr. Rahul Shah has asked that inverted duty structure formula is changed from 18th July, right? By notification, but it is not updated on GST portal as of now. So 20th September is the extended due date for filing application for August 2018 refund, sir. So please, if you can instruct your officers to take this technical matter, it is related to GST, but it is affecting all, because then August 2018 refund will lapse after 2 years, and this formula is not updated on GST network, sir.
Definitely, we will look in the matter, and I will instruct to my concerned joint commissioner. My joint commissioner legal is here. The person who is handling these issues are here. My joint commissioner e-governance is also here. So I will definitely instruct them, and we'll try to solve the issue.
Yeah, sir, we thank you very much, because you have stayed back for the entire session. As we are aware, knowing your nature, I was confident. Mr. Tushar was not confident that whether sir will stay back to the entire session or not. I told that mostly, if unless there is some emergency meeting, Kiran Bhai will surely remain present, and you have happily answered all our questions. And one or two questions we have not been able to get it from chat box, like not drafted, or I have not been able to understand. So that I will put before sir, I will come for this one point is plotting, and the another question before you, sir. And will we heartily thank, sir, and all other co-panelists, though they have left, because just now they have left, Mr. Bisansa and Neeraj Bhai Hati Singh, for this very interactive, very fruitful, and kind of judicious session. And we look forward, sir, that you also at least guide us once in 4 to 5 months, or maybe twice or thrice a year. And we look forward to have your this guidance and enlightenment again in future. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. We are here to serve you. Whatever is your problem or whatever issues to the industry, we are always here to help. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
So
you.
lastly, I would like to just add two four new two lines with this. I Tushar Gaur on behalf of ASSOCHAM Gujarat We'd like to thank our special guest, Shri Kiran Zaveri sir, for enlightening us, for giving us insight for the entire fraternity, and with all the esteemed panelists who have been a valuable part for this session. Sir, Kiran sir, we look forward for a lot of other sessions coming near future for again interacting with you and taking insight and helping us to guide us way forward. I thank you each and everybody, and thank you ASSOCHAM IT team and host. Thank you other team, our partners, supporting organization, and everybody for making this event possible. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.